Hello everybody and welcome to the glorious Smite League Lower Division end of season tournament for season 2 here. We are kicking off the evening and the weekend with King Kai's versus one of the Harpy Division teams here in the adequate Armadillos, who are going to be looking to knock King Kai's off their perch and take on to the round 2 game against VTubers Paradise. Joining me tonight are Miranda's on the casting desk and Printers doing production for us, and we can see the bracket there. Quite a few rounds within this final tournament, much more than last time. We've got a much more developed system, more players in the league, and it's nice to see. Miranda's, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. What about yourself?
Looking forward to this one. I think this could be a very, very interesting game, having seen the lineups for the evening. And the way that the teams are setting themselves up is very different from what I think people are going to be expecting. Of course, VHS already beat the first of the Harpy Division teams, beating Protectors of Yggdrasil in a 2-0 in a set, and we'll be facing off against Hakai in the next game. But we are going to be focusing on this game tonight. King Kai's, captained by Morton, leaning off against the adequate Armadillos, who are going to be captained by Glig. And as we can see, King Kai's especially with a lot of rotation within their team here, with only Freakout keeping his regular position, Ridza going into the solo lane, Zat's playing in the jungle tonight, and Morton, the 2-season jungle one-trick, is playing ADC this evening.
Yeah, interesting lineup. I mean, it's not even Freakout's regular position, is it? Because he's normally on the bench. So definitely an interesting lineup. Excited to see how it plays out, though. Never really seen Morton outside of jungle, except in houses. So
yeah,
be interesting to see how he performs in the comp setting.
Yeah,
I've never seen the other teams play either,
So I've scrimmed against the Armadillos before, and I know that Glig likes his Bastet in the jungle. On the other side, Morton's ADC picks, I know he likes his rotation and his ability to just get in there and do his thing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dunsbo or a Chernobog tonight. So far, though, some relatively standard bans leading to the Guan Yu first pick for King Kai's. Well, we can assume this is going to go into the solo lane, but there is obviously the option for it to be either in the support or the jungle here. Guan Yu with that flexibility in how he can play, leaving King Kai's with a few selections open.
Yeah, I think Guan Yu probably going into solo lane at this point, just because he's so strong over there right now with Fabus tubes, especially in going into the mid game and he gets into those team fights. It's just so much healing coming out, especially that passive off the shield that comes off those flowers.
Absolutely, and on the other side with the Armadillos here, we are seeing the Ishtar and Cthulhu locked in. Cthulhu quite commonplace to be a supposed counter matchup to the Guan Yu. Personally, yeah, I don't think within team fights is going to be that much difference. I get that the Cthulhu has a lot of presence, but the one I do like is Ishtar. I think Ishtar is an incredibly strong pick. The pressure that she brings and her ability to just kill someone so quickly, the maneuverability she has, big fan. Ymir though, definitely able to block that maneuverability, and that's the pick that King Kai's have brought in here. Early potential for that to be a support pick, and blocking off Cthulhu and Ishtar's engage, not the worst pick either. Mixed in with an Agni though, not something that we see very commonly here, and a pick that I don't dislike at all, but I'm surprised to see this early.
Yeah, I think I could have held off on the Agni. I think there's definitely better picks out there. The Baba will definitely have a lot more survivability when there's Cthulhu's diving. I think I would have held off on the Cthulhu pick and maybe picked it third, because obviously the King Kai's already have their solo laner. So I probably would have picked up jungle as what's being hovered here, or maybe even my support. I'd like to see that Ymir locked in because he's so effective against the Guan Yu.
Yeah, I think even for Kins, they could quite easily have gone for an ADC pick here. You know, Artemis relatively safe into Ishtar. With a Ymir pairing with that as well, you know, you've got the walls there which can really block off a lot of the engage that can shut down an Artemis, and picking the Pele into that is another interesting take, where Pele is another one who is very much shut down by a Ymir wall. And we shall see how that pans out. Into second phase of ban, so Lancelot is taken away. Something that I suppose is still a relatively standard ban, although personally I don't know. I don't really know if he's still strong, or
I think he's seen a bit of resurgence after the recent patch notes, or yeah, that's the one. Just seen them being picked up a bit more. Personally, I haven't read them, so I'm not quite sure on why. But I definitely seen a bit of resurgence on this character. I think he's just really safe on that horse when it comes to getting that massive shield. And he's never really struggled with being able to gank someone. Like he's got that cripple field on his ultimate, very safe with the horse to get out, and he's just sort of got everything you want.
It's time to
Very
turn this
true,
battle
very true.
in our favor.
Athena being locked in though, so that is the duo lane confirmed for the Armadillos here. Athena Ishtar lane into Ymir, and well, we don't quite know who else yet, but we will see that shortly. I'm surprised that we're not really seeing much focus on Bellonas at the moment, and Gilgamesh's with the recent buffs to the warrior items, and the fact that Devos is so good still, and the fact that Bellona, you know, she utilises that build really quite effectively with Devourer's Gauntlets into then other tank items. I really thought we would have seen it just strong into the meta at the moment, able to be tanky, sustain, and deal with any ADCs that there are, but being neglected here, instead looking at the Hoombats and Cerninos being hovered. A nice lot of beads burners for King Kai's here, and they are locking that in. When you look at the amount of CC on their team, that's a scary comp to deal with. You know, we're going to be looking at needing Magi's as well as the purification beads in this.
Yeah, for sure. This Cerninos has been tearing up ranked Qs and SPL recently. Seen being locked in, not even in just ADC, he's been over to the mid lane as well recently. Definitely having a big impact on his fights with his ultimate, especially when you pair it with this Mass who's also going to be burning beads. And this Guan Yu's just going to be able to zone people off so easily.
Yeah, and it's not just that, it's also the fact that there's, you know, the ability to shred the protections in there. Speaking of shredding things, we've got a Kronos. Is this going to be a return of the rat that was Sase? Or is this... actually, this is probably going to be... Oh, you know what? I don't know. This could be an Ishtar mid, even.
I think Ishtar does so much better into the long lane, so I think this is going to be a Kronos mid. But, you know, I could be wrong. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I agree that she is better within the long lane, but also Kronos is much more suitable to kind of deal with the Cerninos. With his lack of CC immunity, you know, if he gets engaged on the Kronos, just hits the stun and ults out of the ult, and, you know, can win the trade somewhat well, and in the mid lane the Ishtar can just ult the stun, prevents the Agni from dashing away, and get the stun onto him in return and actually take a decent 100% engage. So it could go either way here, and I would not be surprised to see the Ishtar in the mid. More likely will be the Kronos, so, but I think the Ishtar could do a job there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm definitely liking King Kai's comp a lot more than I am the yellow Armadillos. I think if this Pele has a fun game, then King Kai's are doing something wrong.
Yeah, this is very much going to lean on the performance of Pentacrawl on the Ymir here and how he's able to use these walls. We have seen it before where Morton has been trolled by walls with the Ymir wall blocking out the Mercury ultimates and causing a lot of disorientation. And that was in the semi-finals of last season, if I'm remembering rightly. Hopefully, you know, for the King Kais, they'll be wanting a better performance and better synchronization within their team today on that front, because Ymir very much has the opportunity to help them or to hinder them.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got a lot of potential to really change the way this game goes, especially in those tight corridors. But as Pele wants to be, getting those that big ultimate off, connecting onto multiple people, I think Ymir can really change the course of the game. Even if he hits like one ability onto the Pele, she's slowed and she doesn't really have anything to get out of that really.
Exactly, as we are going into game here, and I'm looking at the builds. Nothing particularly interesting here. I do like the early Heavenly Wings onto the Ymir, having that sprint available for the extra movement speed. Good engage, does very well into the Ishtar, able to keep up with her. Nothing too surprising, although the Guan Yu with, you know, tier 1 breastplate is surprising, considering the lane opponent.
Yes, certainly both solo laners have made interesting decisions. I'd say I'd want a tainted breastplate on the Cthulhu, considering you picked the counter matchup, and you probably want to have the items to counter as well. But
Absolutely.
I can't even go conduit even if it wasn't Guan Yu. I think I'd prefer the axe on Cthulhu as well.
Yeah, speaking of
Um,
engagement here, early beads and shell coming out from the dual lane of the adequate Armadillos. Tucker just not quite into the position there to peel for his ADC, who got frozen and then to rooted, taking a large amount of damage, and that's going to be losing a lot of pressure, which they really should have expected against the Ymir Cerlinos. Elsewhere around the map, though, solo lane, a bit of a brawl, but both happy to just clear. In the mid lane, though, Freakout taking a lot of poke from Blue Slitter on the Kronos here. A lot of damage coming in, and with this composition, Kinkais aren't really going to want to be fighting back. And this is more definitely for the Armadillos to sort of run the early game just with the strength of the Pele. With mid camp spawning, it'll be interesting to see how they fight here and how these pan out.
yeah, definitely. My worry is that Freakout was losing even when the Pele wasn't there, and that was to a Kronos at level 3. So if he's losing now, it's not looking bright for when he's like level 20 and getting that passive 20 minutes in.
Absolutely not, as once again we see Banana getting into some trouble here, this time without the relics helping. There's the freeze, and there's the first blood down for Kinkai's. Morton picking up that one. Banana just stepping up a little bit too much out of the protection of his wave, gets frozen, gets hit by all of the CC as much as he attempted to dodge, and that's the first blood for Kinkai's in a lane where you really do not want to give up too much momentum.
Yeah, I don't think Ishtar's one of those gods that should be dying this early on, especially with the insane wave clear that she has. She's definitely looking to bully out that lane right now. Maybe once the supports of the lane, Kronos can take over a bit. But I think early on, this Ishtar just with that spread out one, it's just so easy to clear the wave that I never see her dying like that.
Yeah, and is now completely losing out. Purple buff is going to fall for the Kinkais with a successful invade here. They've still got their own that they're going to be able to clean up as well, and Pentacle has actually taken that. There is some aggression here, though, from the Armadillos trying to turn something around, but Pentacle quite happy to walk away. Doesn't have the mana, though, and Glig is lurking in the corners. Looking at Pentacle, who hasn't quite clocked the invade until now and is stepping up with very little mana. Duo lane is rotating in. It's, for the moment, is a 3v2, but Armadillo is just hesitant to take it. Glig is looking for the invade. Tucker's there, face tanking a lot of damage, but choosing not to engage in the end, where really they should be looking for an invade. They've also got level 5 Kronos, who's just forced the beads out of Freakout in mid lane, and Blue Slitter really asserting some dominance here.
Yeah, it's a very heavy investment to stay over in the duo lane for that long, and as we can see, the Hermats has invaded the jungle for it, so I'm not sure Glig's going to be liking that when he goes to find out that one out.
Yeah, Zat's hitting level 5 as well. Could quite easily be lurking around solo here. This Cthulhu does not have Purification, is instead opted for the teleport. And Zaz is dropping the Fear No Evil, using the engagement onto Yuzanda, who's used the ultimate. The healing is there, trying to get the knockup, but Zaz picks up a second kill for Kinkais. However, Blue Slitter has made the rotation, trades out 1-for-1, picking off the kill onto Zidra. And that is a 1-for-1 trade for both teams. Adequate Armadillos will be relatively happy with that, able to pick off, the big team fighting ultimate that is Fear No Evil, and this Kronos is able to extend the little lead that they had in the mid lane and get online. And really right now that is looking to be a win condition already for them, if anything.
Yeah, that was a big rotation from the Kronos there, putting a lot of damage in that Guan Yu and making sure he's not getting ahead off of that kill into the Cthulhu. I think if this Kronos continues performance he's sort of having right now and having this sort of impact late in the game, he could definitely be a really big thorn in Kinkai's side.
Absolutely could be. It's all a case of then is how well can the Armadillos protect the Kronos, because right now we're seeing that definitely is the focal point. How much protection they have for this varies. They've got the Ishtar ult, which can be some good peel. Obviously the Kronos has good self peel with the stun, slow time, and also the ultimate to rewind time, but how consistently he's able to use that for himself is variable. Banana using the ultimate here does secure the purple buff. Attackers falling lower and lower. Pentacle running forward is going to force out the shell from Takane in the support, and that's a really big investment just for one purple buff. I understand wanting to not fall behind on farm, but if you spread out, you've got enough secure there to taunt the Ymir away. Interesting choice of relic usage and ability usage.
Yeah, it's never gonna feel nice when that Ymir is just 1v2 and you on your own buff. He, he really needs to be sorted out. I think he shouldn't really be able to do that for free, especially getting an ult and a shell.
Absolutely should not. As looking at builds here, Hunters are finally getting their stacks online. Morton delaying his build and has actually meant that he's not really got too much of an advantage on the items over our Banana here. Really should have looked to have backed as soon as he has that spike of the Devourer's Gauntlets. You want that stacking as soon as possible to get the penetration, as we are seeing the engagement onto Zats here. The Monkey is being engaged on, but there is the turnaround. Richter is there with the Guan Yu ultimate, but he's going to get turned around on. Ultimates coming through from Glig, the Cthulhu, and Athena means it's a 2-kill swing for the adequate Armadillos. Blue Slitter with a double kill on the Kronos, getting plenty of Warlock stacks there. Pentacle missing the freeze means that's going to be a clean 2-0 engagement as well. Blue Slitter's there on the back camps. He's going to do some invading and get the farm up. Has a level lead and 3 kills to the good right now. He's going to be very happy with how this lane is looking for him at the moment.
Yeah, just watching that whole thing, it was a bit crazy to me. Vizat makes it out. Then Rizla just sees 4 of them while he's on his horse, has the opportunity to go out and says no. I'm going to continue going onto the CC immune Cthulhu. So he's not getting the slow and he's not going to get the stun at the end of it. He stays there, tries to fight them, realizes he's not, and then gets dogged and dies. And then Zats has the bright idea to go back in. It's that was very confusing, and they've just given them 2 kills for what I see as nothing.
Yeah, I think more the players, that's, he tried the invade, had himself out, and there was no reason to go any further. And as you said, Rizla just going in too far, got, eyes greedy for the Cthulhu, and it's ended up just costing them a massive amount of lead on the Kronos, who you look now is looking to be going for a Book of Thoth as well, and that is such a scaling build, but he's in a position where he's so far ahead that he can do it. Level 10 in 8 minutes, that is some fantastic farming against an Agni who really could just be poking out this Kronos fairly freely here and is really struggling to assert any dominance, as we see again Blue Slitter going aggressive onto iFreakout and getting off a lot of poke.
Yeah,
Legs going even further here. Is he going to blow the ultimate? The stun does come out. There's the knock up onto iFreakout. iFreakout falls once again. Blue Slitter is 4-0 in this game. Glig choosing a really nice engagement there. Brilliant follow-up from the mid laner of the adequate Armadillos. And currently 4-2 in favour of them on the kill front. Gold is relatively even. But here is Zats. He's looking for the ult onto Blue Slitter, but without any follow-up, it doesn't really look like it's going to matter. There comes the rewind time. Kronos getting back to where he was before and looking now to re-engage onto Pentacrawl and Zats, who are lacking in abilities. That's jumping away. Taka does get the taunt, but without any real follow-up, it's not going to lead to much. But once again, adequate Armadillo is just getting another good pick.
Yeah, it's all stemming from this Kronos right now. I think he is 100% of adequate Armadillo's kills. Zats went in there, put the ult on him, and his 2, and I think he did nearly a fifth of his health. Like that's not really what you want from your jungle. You want that man to be bursting him right down, because all he did was he pressed 4 and he's back in the fight and chasing them all around.
Yeah, at this stage it's just too early for the Humbats to find that 100-0 damage. Needs 2 or 3 items online to have anything close to that, as well as some help, which with your mid laner down, you really don't have that damage to support you, even when Pentacrawl's there with the Scepter and a Ymir. It's just not quite enough to burst down, the Kronos, who is now level 11 with a Warlock Sash, 2/3 of the way to being fully stacked.
Yeah, Agni's nearly 20 stacks down on his Kronos. It's not looking good for this mid lane right now. Kronos should not be allowed to be building this item if he's going for a Book of Thoth and double stacking. So I would like to see a lot more focus put on him, because he's not.
He's not double stacking.
No, he's going for poly.
He's gone for a very early Polynomicon. Interesting choice. Not something that I'd normally suggest picking up this early, just due to how it procs based on damage. And right now, adequate Armadillos are using the advantage that their team has of vision here. They haven't even got the Kronos here, but they are taking this early Gold Fury 10 minutes in. Adequate Armadillos have taken the Gold Fury. Gold still somewhat even, but the experience that that's going to give, we're now seeing a level lead both in mid and in the jungle. Granted, they are down on the rest of the map, but mid and jungle with a Kronos and a Pele is what you're wanting to see.
Yeah, I think I'd like to even check who the actual LD team here is, because right now it's looking at like Adequate Armadillos. That was a very, very good call to make that play on the Gold Fury.
Was indeed, although Zats is getting aggressed on here. It wasn't nice, Fear No Evil, to actually turn some damage onto Glig. But now we're seeing the Cthulhu picking up a kill. Finally, someone else has one for the Adequate Armadillos, and it is Yazandij here, who's got another one. And Ridgler really not enjoying this one. 0-3 right now, being picked off far too much for King Kai's. Is even on experience and doing, fine on the gold so far. The net worth isn't too far off the Cthulhu. He's only 300 down, but the Armadillos are abusing the early lead that they have in the mid lane right now. They're really forcing his pressure around the map, forcing abilities out. Pentacle is keeping on the Pyromancer here, but with the amount of the Armadillos that are around, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, Armadillos, they're making very good plays right now. Like that call into the Gold Fury, and then followed by that kill on Rizzler. The only real lane they have pressure in right now is over by Mortimer. He's got 1 level lead. But I mean, this Ishtar is going to bring value late game no matter what. So Zats and this Ymir, I think they need to start talking and decide what they're doing, because they're not putting pressure anywhere right now, I don't think.
Yeah, and Ishtar honestly has not struggled too much since dying early in the game. He's just been trading out ultimates where possible. You can see he has the beads available still, and actually could be getting a kill themselves here. Pentacle falling very, very low. The ultimate from Ishtar, Banana did come out. Pentacle did not fall. Taka's charging up the dash here, is going forward, but Morton still has his ultimate available. Pentacle does fall, but here's Zats for the turnaround. Glig falls in return. Support for the jungler. So far, this is in favor of King Kai's, and they're continuing the engagement. Zats is going in. Morton having to use the bead zone. Blue Slitter picks up yet another kill. Rampage for the Kronos here, who is now returning to his full health. We've even had a rotation from the solo laners here, and Zats is having to dash away. Freakout using the beads under tower. The taunt isn't respecting that, and Freakout might just be able to get a traded kill because of it. Taka is going to fall to Freakout, but he's also going to fall himself. That is another swing just about in favor of the Armadillos, picking up 3 kills for the 2 of them that died. Also picking up a tier 1 tower. Rizzler is yet to take his, but without the teleport, Cthulhu not too likely to get there before it's taken, but duo lane's just been swung on its head.
Yeah, I think it was sort of who died on the side of Armadillos. I know that Fina died, but I feel like there was
Glig died as well. The jungler, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the best case for Armadillos right there, because right now this Kronos and this Cthulhu are so far ahead for you.
Yeah, Banana maybe feeling himself a little bit too much here, but with Taka landing down on him, has chosen to go a bit aggressive. And Pentacle here, losing a lot of health. Really nice Ymir wall there to just block him off, but is still going to fall. Pentacle is now 0-2-2, same level as Taka, and Banana is a 2-1 KDA. Suddenly back on the board, even with Morton, extra kill up. And is doing quite happily for himself. Gets a big stun onto Morton. Lots of damage coming out, forcing the Aegis there. Only thing Banana has to be careful of now is the lack of relics usage, but Morton missing the ultimate is now in a precarious situation. Zats is there and is jumping over the wall, meaning that Banana is likely to fall. The monkey hits. Sacred Monkey picking up that kill. Blue Slitter, though, trading out the ADCs, and the teleport coming over from Yazan DJ, meaning that once again Zats is having to back out another 1-for-2 trade in favor of the Armadillos, and they're just getting these picks across the board, and they're abusing it. They're taking the leads that they have and they're taking them elsewhere. The rotations from mid and the solo is really good play right now.
I'll be honest, I don't know why the solo's here.
I agree, I don't get why they're here at this moment, but they are forcing and pushing things, which I respect.
Yeah, the problem is he's just sacrificing so much farm, and now Rizzler's back in the game. Especially on a counter pick, you should be wanting to just farm up that lane. I can see the rotation if gold's up, but it was nowhere near. So I think he should have held it.
Yeah, I think especially now Gold has spawned and actually Armadillo's in a position where a lot of them need to back. Although Rizzler has just been engaged on and taken a lot of damage. Good engagement from Blue Slitter, Glig and Taka there to chunk him down to half health even after the heal. Is ticking up on potions and all 5 members of Kins are here. Now pulling this Gold Fury, the Primal Fury, giving them that Draugr buff. Whereas adequate Armadillos are waiting on the wings looking to counter engage. All ultimates are up on the side of King Kai's except for Ymir. All ultimates are up for the adequate Armadillos. Gold Fury has been leashed, and there is the Cthulhu coming through. Sent into madness, knock up onto Pentacle. Really big taunt by Zatso onto the tanks. Zats turns into it. Fear no evil though. Rizzler's going in. There's a lot of engagement from both teams, but the first to fall is Rizzler. Pentacle gets his full second, and that's both the tanks down on the side of King Kai's. Full team wipe in favor of the Armadillos, and they're just going to back, reset, and go for the gold after.
That's criminal.
Their team fighting right now is fantastic. They're going for fire, are they?
There's no way they go for fire, surely not.
Without their ADC, they can't do this. It's got to be a pyromancer.
They've got this level 16. They've got this level 16 Chronos. I don't see why you'd give up gold to go for pyro. So they have to be going for fire, but
I don't think they have the DPS for it. They are indeed pulling the fire giant here.
I don't think.
Pulls it up. Although saying that, look how much this thing is falling. Half health already. Frenzy's been popped. Fire Giant now down to 40%, 30%. Pentacruel has picked up and is heading over into this general direction, but Glig there with the damage, and Blue Slitter. Adequate Armadillos have taken a 17-minute Fire Giant against King Kai's, and I don't think anybody would have expected this before this game kicked off.
No, I definitely didn't. That's criminal. I think King Kai's really need to go back to the drawing board after this game. Even if they win, I think that's a disgrace that they've lost that 17 minutes in.
They've just not. It seems like they've just not shown the Armadillos the respect. They've got a couple of, they got the first kill, they got the dual lane presence, and then it seemed that from the other side of the map, they decided, oh, we're just going to go and do the same thing now, and it hasn't worked out like that. Freakout's really struggled in mid against Blue Slitter. Morton now is struggling against Banana, but he's missing so many basic attacks. Nice dodging from Morton, using the side steps to not die there, but taking so much damage, and now the ult comes through from Taka, meaning Morton is in a very precarious position. Zats is on the side with Pentacruel, Freakout at the red buff, but Glig has made the rotation over here, as well as Blue Slitter, who's just blinked onto Freakout and forced the dash away, and now the Armadillos are indeed going to take this Primal Fury.
I don't think I defend the first T2 if I'm King Kai's. Nearly just over 5k down. I think I'll let the first one go, poke them out a bit, and then maybe, depending on if you get anything out of it, maybe defend the second one.
Yeah.
But it's just looking so disengaged in these team fights for King Kai's.
Speaking of disengaged, goodbye Freakout gets engaged on and gets disengaged from his existence once again. 1-4 on the Agni here. Really struggling on Blue Slitter. 8-0 on the other side on this Chronos. Really putting in a lot of work. Glig doing the same thing in the jungle. 3-1-7 on the Pele, having a lot of impact around the map. With this double penetration into the Arendite build, he's going to be doing a lot of damage to the squishy targets that he is finding. This is just some really overall solid play from the Armadillos. A few little things here and there they could improve on, but on the whole, they're just taking this advantage and they are snowballing it.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've just had a look down at some of the relics, and I don't know if anyone's told Freakout that Aegis is able to be bought now, because he's got Shell.
May well have done. I think could definitely be using it if you ever get hit by that slow time without having your beads available. That Aegis just to block the follow-up damage of the the one from the Chronos, as well as the the Polynomicon damage and whatever other follow-up there may be is going to be important. Pentacruel does get a blink, does get a freeze off onto Blue Slitter, but he's not taking any damage whatsoever. And this tier 2 is just getting bombarded by the Trebuchet, which right now has not taken any hits. Taka is going in to just cause some disruption into the backline. Freakout already lost about a third of his health. Pentacruel lost half, but Yazan DJ is losing a lot here. The ultimate comes through from Morton onto Blue Stitch, who stepped up far too far here, but good disengage from Banana using the ultimate, and that means actually in the backline, Freakout has died. Pentacruel also dies in 2 kills more for the Armadillos. Backline are just off healing up, but they've still got their ADC here to shred this Phoenix, and it's dropping and dropping. I think this might be a little bit ambitious for them. I don't think this is a good engagement. With how Rizzler and Morton are stepping up, they're taking a lot of damage. Minions are starting to pour in. The Trebuchet's still there. Taka blinking, gets the beads out of Morton with the taunt. Phoenix drops, Zats goes in and gets blown up. Rizzler's getting dropped lower and lower now, below, down to 20% health, 5%, 10% dies. Morton is low. This is going to be game 1 in 21 minutes to the Harpy division. Adequate Armadillos, unless something miraculous should happen. But Morton here with no beads does pick up Taka, but is very, very low, having to return to base. Freakout here with a very good defense with the bombs. Does pick up 2 kills. Is Blue Slitter and Banana's not hitting the Titan, but Blue Slitter is in game 1 to the Armadillos.
Jesus.
Incredible.
That's got to be a hurt on the mentals for King Kai's.
They need to go back to the drawing board and rethink their lineup, methinks.
A lot of people have just lost a lot of points in Twitch chat, I can tell you that. If anyone has put 10 points onto the adequate Armadillos, and they've made some bucks.
They have indeed. I mean, what a performance. 2 people I'd really like to highlight there. Obviously, Blue Slitter, fantastic on the Chronos, but credit where it's due. Taka Ne4 in support made some incredible rotations with the Defender of Olympus there. Really pressuring that map well, and I think provided so much for the team, both in terms of engagement and just even using the ultimate to position and get in a location where they're safe to continue an engagement. And wow, we've got the wrong end of game stats up right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lockie. Big game from Lockie right now. Don't think he was in that game, but,
I thought it was Chronos at rewound time, not printers.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, embarrassing from King Kai's, I'll be honest. I think they went in with egos.
Agreed.
They've obviously come out with their ass kicked. Yeah, like, look how much damage. Like, we were unsure of how this Ishtar was going to perform at the start, considering she got was it First Blooded? It come out with 30k damage.
Done a
like
huge
this Ishtar
amount.
and Kronos, like, the front line doesn't have the greatest stats on the Armadillo side, but they were doing what they needed to do and tanking up all that damage, and then just baiting King Kai's in, and they were falling for it every time. Like, I think Agni
front line. Yikes. The healing from Guan Yu, or lack thereof. When you've had the soul stone on the Agni doing as much healing as you, and you're Guan Yu with healing in your kit, you're doing something wrong. Seriously wrong.
I mean, you got to make it to team fights to do that healing though, so I can't put it past him because he didn't really make it out of lane.
But whose fault was that?
I can't say it's. I don't know. It's not really his, because his team was already dead by the time he got there.
I don't know. I think it's got to the stage that first engagement made such a difference, where he just went in and got himself and Zats killed, and that was what ended up snowballing the Chronos as well. I just think that one decision almost was what led to this game to just get thrown completely off kilter for the Kins.
I'm very hesitant to put it on that one play. I think Kronos snowballing as he did definitely was the reason, but I don't think it was that one kill on the Guan Yu. I think it definitely added to it, but I think most of play was seen around this mid and duo side. Or we did see the odd kill here and there in the solo. Obviously, we saw that second kill on Rizzler when Zats was over there. I just don't think this Matt's had enough impact in the team fights. I'll be honest. I think it's just a team misplay. To be honest, like, Zats would put the ultimate down, and you'd not really see anything come of it. Like, no follow up from his Agni, or Mawson, to be honest. But yeah, it's not what you want to see.
Yeah, so back to the drawing boards ahead of game 2 for King Kai's, and for us, it's back to the break room. we'll be back very, very shortly for game 2 of this set between King Kai's and Adequate Armadillos after Adequate Armadillos, maybe shockingly, but wholeheartedly deserved, take game 1 from King
Surely
Kai's.
Morton scoring up no XD over break.
Surely. We'll be back very, very shortly with you guys, with you folks. Stay tuned for the rest of this very, very entertaining set.
Open, I can see the light shining through. Good morning, blinds open, I'm coming home to you. Soft with the weather, cool with the breeze. Flip through the pages of reality. Float like a feather out to the sea. Roll like a lion, living wild and free. Just like that, snap my fingers. Just like that, dreams get bigger. Just like that, paint a picture. Just like that, just like that, just like that, just like we can see the stars shining through. Good evening, blinds closing. It's just me and you. Soft with the weather, cool with the breeze. Flip through the pages of reality. Float like a feather out to the sea. Roam like a lion, living wild and free. Just like that, snap my fingers. Just like that, dreams get bigger. Just like that, paint a picture. Just like that, just like that, just like, cause what you want, you have it. Just like. Just like that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Glorious Smite League Round 1 games in the end of season lower division tournament, where, shockingly to everyone, Adequate Armadillos have just taken game 1 rather convincingly away from King Kai's, which has been an absolute dream to the meme channel in the Discord. And if you have not yet checked that out, please go take a look, because right now it is absolutely fabulous. But King Guys are going to be looking for a return into Game 2 and getting themselves back into shape, where we now have NopeXD returning to the roster. Freakout has been benched. Morton's back into the jungle. Zats is back in solo. NopeXD taking his place in mid lane over Freakout. And Rizzler now into the ADC role, as we're looking at the bans, and it's goodbye Kronos and goodbye Ishtar. So the two teams that were, or two gods that had probably some of them higher impact in the last game in terms of damage, are now gone, whereas on the other side, Armadillo is getting rid of NopeXD's almost infamous Baba Yaga. Almost always an instantaneous first ban against him, and the standard Thor and Darji alongside it. Hades going the other way. Mirandus, can you see the return of Armadillos for another game here, or do we think Kins are going to start to flip things?
Yeah, you could definitely see a return of it, especially if the Kins decide to play like they did last game. I mean, we have just seen Zats locking the Camazotz, and I think he is yet to have more than one death on this thing in a game. So I don't know. We could see. I do think it's quite funny that they banned away the Kronos, which you never really see banned. So it's definitely a respect banned for blue Slitter. So I don't think he'll have any less impact on another god. I think he was just playing really well. So I don't know. I think Kin just could be able to shut that Kronos down so easily that it doesn't really seem like a worth ban to me. But
agreed. I think what we are seeing here is that this is very much more worth it for the Armadillos, but on the other side, you know, they've locked in the Achilles with the Kepri, which I guess is quite almost a sort of counters the Camazotz, just because it can bully quite a lot. It can box him, can somewhat match his sustain, although if the Camazotz max is the 3, you know, then you're never going to match it. On the other side, Kinkai's now picking up Ganesh and Chunga. Now this is surprising.
NopeXD has been playing this a lot in scrims, I can confirm. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it in the game yet. It might have. I don't recall. But against his Achilles, he's going to have a hard time, I think. He doesn't really have anything to get away from him. This Kepri obviously has the root and the pluck to... so he's sort of got to choose between which one he wants to immune. I think he might have a hard time on this Chunga this game as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see the build path, whether it goes from more damaging Chunga, or whether we go for these more sort of tanky utility Chungas, where, you know, we see the Kronos Pendant, we see the Lotus Crown, Rod of Asclepius, and just this high amount of utility for the team, where you can still do the job, but you're more there as a setup for other characters. And when you've got a Camazotz, which is going to be dealing a lot of damage alongside, you know, an ADC, which is just inherently going to be doing a lot of damage, is that going to be the worst idea? Honestly, I don't think it is. I quite almost would like to see this tankier Chunga coming out with the utility, just to be able to sustain these fights more, because right now that's what Kin's roster is going to be looking to do, especially against a Freya, who's going to, you know, want to get these engagements, do the damage, get in the sky, and then have won it. Otherwise she's very vulnerable, and I think prolonging this is going to be very beneficial for Kins.
I don't know what the Chunga's build path really is these days. I did try her out the other day in a game. She just wasn't feeling like she hits as hard as some of these other mid laners like Discordia, like Yu Huang. They're just hitting a lot harder, I feel, but I think Chunga could bring what Kins need. Just get into that back line, getting a big ult off, and killing one of these back liners with Blue Slitter and Banana were really just doing the bulk work last game.
Yeah, speaking of things that have gone under the window there. Vulcan and Naja both waiting until second bans to actually be even mentioned. Vulcan as the final ban of the game, and Naja being picked up in the 7th pick slot. I think if that doesn't show you quite how skewed, you know, these teams are after that first game, and just, you know, how in their heads they must be right now, that the logic to see that pick and, you know, prioritize it when it's so strong right now is gone. And here is Bologna. That's a Bologna jungle. I can confirm that is going to be a Bologna jungle. Morton has been playing the living daylights out of this recently, and he is going to be going critting Devourer's
You will
Gauntlets.
regret getting in my
Yeah,
way.
we are going to see crit Bologna.
I've been on the other end of that. It feels good until the enemies learn what Spectral is. I think it could have interesting results, especially into this Freya. I don't know. I don't think Bologna does enough damage, and especially with the crit build, she's not going to have enough tankiness to survive this Freya, I don't think. Maybe with this Camazos diving with her, but I don't know. This Chiron is also going to be able to, if it goes through, just sustain, really. Like, he can go into that ult, and I think Freya can get him low enough that Chiron can finish off this Bologna and like continue living.
Yeah, it gives that a little bit of sustain to be able to somewhat match the Chang'e in mid as well, and the sort of poking battle, and just keep himself topped up. I don't know, with how last game went, I almost would have expected to have seen the Arachne come out from Morton. He said before that if a game like this is going on where they need to win, and he wants to take it into his own hands, that's sort of his go-to pick. Now, I know she's not as strong at the moment, but all the same, I am almost surprised that we're not seeing it here.
I don't know. I don't like this Bologna pick, I'll be honest. If this Chiron pick's come through, which I hope it does, I don't see this Bologna doing much, because Chiron gets that slow onto her, and if Naja can hit his hash, then I think it's lights out for Bologna, unless she wants to ult out, and then she's not really got much of an engage, and she's really not safe. I think what King Kai's are looking to do is get in, win the fight within 10 seconds, and sort of just get something for that. Whereas I think if adequate Armadillos can make the fight last a bit longer, maybe force 1 or 2 ultimates first, then I think they're more likely to win.
Yeah, I think also looking at the compositions, I actually do prefer the Armadillos comp. Just on the whole, I think they've got a nice well-rounded combo for early game and Naja and Achilles. Mid-game with, you know, the Achilles and Chiron, and then scaling into the late game, you've got a Freya. The Kepri is going to be able to revive someone and then execute. I really like how their comp is going to scale this game. I think it deals with what a lot of Watkins has quite well. The only issue is going to be how well the engagement can go. If the Ganeshas are able to silence both Naja and Achilles, that's going to find a lot of value in blowing up the engage on the Armadillos. Then they're on this mode where they have to run away, and Chiron with a Freya, they don't kite massively well, especially if the Freya doesn't have the hastened proc. They're not able to just walk away because they're so easy to sort of lock down. The Chiron can obviously peel for them both, but then, you know, the training exercises is down for, you know, for peel, and you're not using it for damage. So it's really a balance where Armadillos have to get their engage right. I like their comp, I think it's well balanced through the different stages, but they have to be able to utilize it correctly.
Yeah, I think if I was to sum up these two comps, I'd say King Kai's a bit with try-by. You want to get in, get someone, get out. And Armadillos are looking for a bit more of a sustained fight. Sort of like around Fire Giant, I think Armadillos are going to have a lot more success if they're even. Because obviously we've seen that sort of run games on this Camazot's pick. So as long as he's not getting too far ahead in this solo lane, I think Armadillo is definitely in it to win it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've just got to go hard, get the Naja in there, get the Chiron ults from range, and, you know, just take the initiative that they've got from game one, take the momentum and use it. Speaking though of momentum, we are going to be lacking some here due to the implementation of a banned skin, we will pop ourselves in a very quick break before we then come back and transition straight into Game 2 between King Kai's and the Adequate Armadillos. So we'll be back with you very, very shortly for that. Stay tuned for the second game of this set. Well, that didn't last long. Turns out that, Adequate Armadillos, aka Red Team, do not care one bit about the use of the RuneScape skin. So we're going to see the debut of RuneScape Bologna in this game. Be interesting to see what Morton's typing as this match goes on, because we should be able to see every single thing pop up above his head.
Well, Adequate Armadillos just have those big balls from game 1, so why not let it go? I don't see anything particularly out of the ordinary as of yet from these builds.
No,
what you
I think
expect.
they listened to us on the basis of we're seeing the Tainted Steel coming out from Yazan DJ, and we're also seeing Pentacle and Rizzler taking a lot of damage here. The beads coming out early from Rizzler. If Tucker just waited that little bit longer on the pluck, or the abduct, should I say, potentially could have seen a first blood onto their armor, and they're only just hitting level 2. The Freya with the Kepri finding a lot of pressure, and in mid here, Morton going for a little flank onto Blue Slitter. We can see where his focus is going to be this game. Blue Slitter happy to dash away, take minimal damage, and just lose a little bit of pressure before the mid-camp spawn here. But overall, not a problem for him, not a problem for the Armadillos. And a nice even balanced start. No early first bloods this time.
Yeah, I am a bit confused on the choice to leave Penta in support and not Rizzler. Obviously, let this fight go on.
Yeah, as we say that, B's being forced to the other side, this time from Banana. Banana, really nice dodge of the bludgeon there. Pentacle falling very low, and with the sustain that this Freya has, both in potions and the lifesteal in her kit, and in the tier 1 item that she has there, that means there's going to be quite a lot of sustain, and I don't think we'll see her that low for much longer. In fact, has already topped up to about 80% health with a nice little bit helping hand from the Kepri passive as well. Whereas Pentacle still about third health here, taking more and more poke from Taco, who's barely even lost any mana. Morton, though, is running himself back around, looking for this Freya, but it might be too late. Is Pentacle going to go down first? No, the shell comes out just in time. Morton now engaging onto Banana. The return shell does come through. Kepri uses the root and actually pins Morton into place, so there's going to be no further engagement there, but very, very near to a first blood onto Pentacle in game 2 here. Instead, Morton's just going to alleviate the pressure, clean up that purple buff, make sure it isn't getting stolen, where Glig has completed his entire second round on his jungle. Surprised we're not seeing him go for an invade here? Especially with Naja, who can clear it very quickly. Would have liked to have seen a bit more aggression from him there.
Yeah, I was watching out for that one, but he was on the blue buff while Morton was on the purple. I would like to have seen him at least show face on the blue.
Speaking of aggression, NopeXD taking a lot of poke here from Blue Slitter on the Chiron, proving that he's not just a Chronos main, and that ban maybe was just a bit redundant. Pentacle, though, getting aggressed on once again. The root did connect, and this meant that the abduct can come through. Pentacle falling lower and lower. No shell. That means that first blood goes to Banana. Once again, first blood is in the duo lane, but this time it goes to the Adequate Armadillos, who are really using their momentum from the last game and carrying it on into this one with the kills, giving an early lead to a Freya. That's not what Kinsize want to see.
Yeah, red team really going strong there. It's certainly not what you want to see. This Freya is only going to do better in the late game. So getting that early lead that she is now, is really not what you want. Especially that 500 gold, going to be able to get that. I assume it's going to be tier 1 Bancroft online earlier, and she just does so well with lifesteal. Hopefully, we'll see like a hasten ring online second, because that will just, she'll be able to run down lane, and Rizzo just won't be able to compete with that level of aggression, I don't think.
No, he won't be able to get away either. Even with Rama Dash is just in perfect range for the banish to come through, so Freya literally loses nothing from being aggressive. And speaking of aggression, here's Glig to poke. The ring toss does come out and does a little bit of damage to Pentacruel and Rizzler. Nothing they're going to concern themselves with too much. Blue Slitter is looking to contest the mid camps with Morton. Doesn't quite get it. Morton now looking for a bit of aggression, looking for the invade, which I'm surprised Red Team haven't actually clocked onto and cancelled out. Morton here pretty freely taking away the camp. Glig is there though. Morton on half mana, but no further engagement. Glig does take his own camp. Is going to be there for the blue buff, and that's not in a position to invade, but these small little things will start to nullify that first blood, but I just worry about how well Rizzler and Pentacruel are going to be able to come back from this, because we saw last game, neither of them did overly well with the lead. They're probably the two weaker links for Kins. And in this game, they're looking for aggression to turn things around, but Banana's quite happy to just use the banish and sit happily until that Bancrofts is done.
Weird to see the Chiron on the purple. Looks like he's lost his lane. I think, judging by how the game's currently going, I think this game is going to come down to the jungles and how they perform in team fights. I think this Naja has potential to really help out the team, and this Bellona, if she can get picks on the back line, it's going to be really big for King guys.
Yeah, I think the important thing for Glig is right now he's got a full item of Spike over Morton, and Morton's going to need to stack his item as well. I want to see Glig getting aggressive while he's got that big Spike and almost get himself this stage of being ahead where he can go for invades, he can get his team ahead before Morton even has the chance to get an impact and just essentially take him out of the game because of it.
Yeah, even if Glig looks over at his solo lane, because Zats does not have the beads and he's not tanky at all right now with this Warrior's Axe into Transcendence build.
Honestly, good look in the mid. The Chonga has Blink. This is a beadsless Chonga here. If we see an Armillary Sash hit, that's a guaranteed ultimate from, you know, the Naja. The Windfire Wheels is pretty much a guaranteed hit. Which also then means that, you know, the training exercise, the Chiron, everything is guaranteed to hit after that. There's immunity only lasts for a short while. Looking at aggression, Banana getting aggressive onto Rizzler, finally hits the first shot, hits 2 out of 6, and evens out on the trade. But we do see the rotation coming through here. Nopex D going in aggressively. There is the ultimate. Nicely timed from Banana. Banana does trade out damage onto Rizzler, but here is the ultimate from Bellona. Morton, nice use of the banish. They are going to go for the dive. Morton picking up that kill with the Scourge. I feel like Banana just went too aggressive with the ultimate there, trying to find damage when in reality could have just ran away, got under the tower and got himself out.
I think, okay, he could have just W-keyed back to his tower. He didn't have to take the damage, but he did. He didn't play it poorly either, to be honest. Like, he's got 3 ultimates on the other side of the team. Like, it's not like he's got nothing for it. I think he's played it as well as he could. Maybe he just didn't know the Bellona was there. But I think 3 ultimates, Armadillos should be looking to do something with that.
Yeah, and on the other side, though, they're looking very back, and actually, San DJ here in solo again, very much bullied out by this Camazotz. Just got to the stage now where kill potential's gone. That Camazotz is massively out-sustaining San DJ here, even with, you know, the Tainted Steel and the Chalice of Healing. So this is going to be a rough stage for him now. He needs to really get himself to this late game without dying and without giving this Camazotz the lead that Zats so wants, to be able to just snowball and act almost like a second jungler, get on this Freya and get on this Chiron. Much slower game in general this time around, but we still are seeing a lead by about a level on Banana, but we're not seeing the leads quite as much as we saw elsewhere.
Yeah, once we start seeing Banana hit autos, then I think he could have a lot more impact in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's why ADCs build attack speed. They don't need to be good then, because if they fire 100 attacks, they're going to hit at least 20 of them, and by that stage you've killed someone.
Exactly, we do see another rotation from Morn over to this lane.
Yeah, really trying to put down this Freya, finding it easy to punish, but Pentacruel is falling low, taking a lot of damage. Morton mistiming the ultimate, and the Ganesh Dharmic pillars are there. And Taka honestly could have looked for the abduct if not for that. Glig is here looking for some aggression. Pentacrawl is dashing away. Nopex uses the immunity, but then the artillery slash misses, even in the position where it could have hit. Blue Slitter has gone in, but they're not engaging onto Nopex as much as they could do. Here comes the ultimate from the Chiron. The shell comes out on the other side from Pentacrawl, and a lot of damage taken from both teams, but nobody falls.
Yeah, that's crazy. Chiron just dashed into 3 of them and gets out for free.
Yeah,
I feel
have
like,
the Gabriel available. This is bold. This is so bold. I get that there's very few ults on the side of King Kai's, but the Armadillos don't have many available themselves. Glick here has gone in, does silenced out of getting the ultimate off and falls to Morton. And now Gold Fury is being pulled on the return by King Kai's. Banana's not in a position to actually contest this. They're looking at Blue Slitter. Blue Slitter is there though. The whoop comes through. King Kai's do get the Gold Fury, and Zats picks up Yasan DJ on the other side. Blue Slitter now falls to Morton, who's 3-0, and suddenly all of the momentum that Adequate Armadillos had is gone from honestly just a very, very, very poor Gold Fury call. I don't know who decided to make that call, but that was not the play they needed to do at that stage.
Yeah, it was a really big silence out from that Ganesh to stop that Windfire wheel was coming on to the Changar. Because if that did go off, then I think Nopex T would have just died. And we probably would be looking at a different state of the game right now.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they just get a kill or two and return this early stage of Gold Fury is not that impactful, and we'd see the game would be maybe somewhat even. Instead, with how the kills went and even the kill on the solo lane as well, we're now seeing that there's a 2k swing in the favor of Kinkai's, and this Bologna's got the first crit item online. And this is where things become dangerous. Double crit, though, on the side of Kin, so can be countered if the Armadillos notice it.
Yeah, Spectral definitely going to be essential for this front line.
Yeah, it could definitely make all the difference. This Bologna gets very shut down by it. Honestly, a Rama can get very shut down by it. Does still have the Astral Arrows doing a lot of damage, but it's not quite there. Kinsai's now looking for the invade. Dynamic Pillars comes out. Taka locked in place beautifully. Doesn't even get the chance to throw out the ultimate to save himself there. And that's going to be a nice red buff invade for Kinkai's. Really, really used Dynamic Pillars there coming out from Pentacrawl. And now Banana using the whip aggressively, trying to aggress onto Rizla, but Morton's rotating. Banana getting Rizla down to 1 hit. Is he going to be able to trade out before he dies himself? Goes into the air, does trade out the kill. Here comes the ult from Morton. The beads comes out from Banana. He's healing so much. He's dealing so much damage. Banish doesn't quite hit. Morton has to disengage. Just showing the strength of a Freya with double lifesteal. That was a ridiculous turnaround. Really nice use of the beads there. And a great kill from the ADC of the Adequate Armadillos. Giving them a little bit more hope in this one.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from the Freya there. It's quite obvious that Morton's looking to focus him out. He's been over here like 4 or 5 times now.
Zats, though, is doing Morton's job for him and just invading the jungle. Yasan DJ almost looks like he might join Blue Slitter in the grave. Dashes out, but doesn't have any mana to follow up. Here comes the bats from Zats, but nothing more. Not enough damage there to get the kill. Glig, though, looking low. He does have the ult there from Taco. Zats, does he steal the speed buff? No, not quite. Glig does get it, but Zats is level 14 right now. He is absolutely huge, and he's only going to get bigger as Kins here, under the radar, take off a Pyromancer, and they look so much more composed this game.
Yeah, sort of like the opposite of what we saw last game. The snowball is rolling for Kins right now, whereas the last game we were sort of seeing it go for Armadillos. I think Armadillos certainly aren't out of it. They do, I think, scale a bit better into the late game, especially this Freya Chiron. Going to be able to melt down these frontliners, especially with Kamazots, who's not going to be that tanky going into the late game compared to Achilles. So I think it's anyone's game as long as Armadillos can find a way to sort of stop the bleeding.
Yeah, the problem is stopping the bleeding. We saw even last game after they took the first 2 objectives that the gold was essentially even. However, here they've lost the objectives and Kins have been out farming them. There's a 5,000 gold difference right now in favor of Kinsai's, and that is a tough lead to break. Once it gets to that stage, that is a really, really, really tough lead to break. And I think The Armadillos are going to have their work cut out to get themselves back into this one, especially with Morton once again in the duo lane, expending the blink to force out the Valkyrie's discretion, but a really nice dodge from Banana to avoid the ultimate from Morton. Izan DJ has teleported in to give a little bit of support, and as well as the rest of the team making the rotation over. Old Fury's up soon. Banana doesn't have the Valkyrie's discretion, but will have the beads up and available by the time this spawns. Morton will be out without his ultimate and his blink. Could that make a difference? We shall see very shortly, depending on how the momentum goes, which team decides to pick it up. But Zats is here with a blink coming up and a lot of farm and damage over his peers in this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure this Achilles should have been teleporting over. He's 4 levels down. I think you just stay in your lane and try and reduce the gap that's quite clearly there right now.
Yeah, they're not really going to be looking to win many team fights at this stage. I think all he needs to be doing, as you said, farm up, honestly take towers, see if you can recover some gold through other means, because now Zats is the one ganking Banana, and without Valkyrie's discretion, he is able to heal up a lot, actually out-sustaining the Kamazots, and for all they are trying to kill this Freya will not have it. Morton, though, is looking into the backline, diving incredibly hard onto Blue Slitter, who isn't able to get the ultimate off in time. Morton does expend the beads, and Nopex D with a very, very good Chunga ultimate there. Dynamic Pillar's also coming down, trapping Banana inside of them. Nice Kepri ult from Taka, but he's in a position where it's not going to help that much. Valkyrie's discretion, though, does come into the air. Banana getting some big damage off and healing a lot. Nopex D picks up a double kill. Zats is able to bat out of hell out of there. 3 kills in favour of Kinsize for nothing in return except a few ultimates, and that's going to be a second Gold Fury of the game going in favour of Kins, and this time it's Oni. They're going to be looking for Fire Giant after this.
Yeah, so Oni Fury is going to be providing a lot of global pressure for Kinsize, make it very easy to set up that Fire Giant when they're looking for it. I'm not sure they can look for it currently, obviously.
I think if they back...
AC is only level 14. Only that first crit line item online. I think unless they like kill off like 3 of them armadillos, then it's gonna be very risky to look for it right now. But
risky, yes, potentially. But on the other side, you look at the fact that they've got 2 auto attack characters with crit that can really shred this down. And for me, I think that with Onis, they could be bold enough to do it. The Kamazots is going to be still doing a lot of damage himself. The Chungas at the stage where they're doing the damage. Pentacruel has the Dynamic Pillars available, which takes away protections and deals extra damage. For me, I'm a fan, and I personally think they could be bold enough to do this. I also respect if they don't. They don't want to throw away this lead. If Kings lose this game, that's it. They're out of the tournament, so they don't want to rush things, but both their auto attackers have double crit online right now, and if they were going to take a time to sneak Fire Giant while the Armadillos have their pants down, this would be the time to do it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to try and throw that way lightly, especially considering how much they've been memed about the first game.
Absolutely. Glig being forced to ultimate out of their Taka using the ultimate. Dynamic Pillar's not quite hitting the mark, but now Taka doesn't have an ult for himself. He's being body blocked really well by Pentacruel Morton, who's going to continue to dive, and as much as they might try and root him in the tower, here comes Zats, who picks up Glig as well, and that's 2 kills down for Kinkai's. Armadillo's just not able to respond right now. Nopex D tanking this tower, does use the beads after getting stunned by San DJ, but nothing further to damage him, and for some reason they're looking into the left jungle. They're looking into the left jungle because Banana is there, but with the silence coming through, that's another kill for Kinkai's. They've got mid pushing in. Onis have been mostly cleared, but they're going to get this tier 1. You can see the pings. They're heading into this right jungle, and the only question now is whether it's Pyro or Fire. And it is indeed going to be the Fire Giant. 18 minutes in, not quite as quickly as the Armadillos had it in the last game. Kinkai still being inferior on their objective play. However, in this game, they are taking it here now. has been spotted out. Isan DJ's making his way over there, but the amount of crit coming through, Fire Giant is gone. NoPexD did use the ultimate and expend it to get that kill. Isan DJ is trying to go in here, but I don't think that's wise. You don't have mana, you don't have much engage. Blue Sitter is there with the Chiron ultimate. Morton, though, is ulted onto him. The damage only really finding Pentacle, meaning Blue Sitter's having to dash away, leaving Taka now in a bad spot. He's being damaged. Morton easily able to catch up with the slow and the speed buff. Taka just being chased down now by Zats, but Kins decide, nope, enough is enough. We're going to get Pyro, and we're going to back out.
Yeah, Armadillos sort of playing as if they're still even, but yeah, they're not. They're 11k down. So they really need to play a bit more passively and just be smart about it. Freya's still ahead of this drama. That's their only hope right now. I think if Blue Slitter can catch up, then he'll be doing a bit more damage. But right now, like, that Kepri's 6 levels down on the Camazots, like he's just getting shredded.
And only just 6. He was level 10 in that previous engagement, really struggling to find the farm this time, Taka.
Yeah, they just need to slow it down, and I think Armadillos can come back. But if they continue to let Kinkais just play at their own pace, then it's lights out, and I'd be talking about third game.
Yeah, their problem right now is that they're averaging of about 500 gold lost per minute across the space of this game, you know. In fact, 11,000 gold down, so a bit over that. They're really struggling to find farm in any way, shape, or form right now, as that's just been invading so well. Nice use of the Windfire Wheels there by Glig actually to reposition, just finding that gap. But again, having to use this ultimate, we're at the stage now where even when this isn't EFG, they're going to have to be giving up tier 2 tower soon. Pentacle, though, taking a lot of damage on this duo side and actually getting picked off. Really nice job by Taka and Banana there to pick off the support of Kinkais. That is going to slow their siege down just a little bit with one less character to tank things. That's really actually not very tanky right now. So his ability to get in there and take things for them, they're really relying on minions and those heals from NoPexD without the support there. NoPexD, though, finding himself a kill onto Banana, who got caught sleeping in a lazy back. He was in the shop, and NoPexD, he went shopping.
Indeed, I don't know. I feel like I'm watching 3 different games right now. They had Kinkais that people pushing down mid, they had the 2 on the left and 2 on the right, and they're just sort of all playing different games. Like, never should that Ganesh be dying when he is FG and his team's this far ahead. Like, especially on a T1, like, I can understand if it's a Phoenix and you're losing someone of your FG, but this far ahead, like, T1 should be free. They should be free real estate.
Indeed, and I just stepping up with the 2 of them there, but honestly, even leaving his ADC behind and just that little bit of team play just went missing for a second, but coming back now, and we can see the rest of Kins grouping around this tier 1 left tower, probably the tier 2 as well. Pentacle is around, NoPexD is there, and they're just slowly pushing this wave up. Pentacle backs, but Zats is just doing his own thing. There's going to need 2 or 3 people to take him down right now. Honestly, I'd argue 3. Blue Sitter is trying to return a bit of the pressure, but right now is about to get flanked by Zats on the Camazots, who is running up to take him out of position, and even with the 2 of them there, Blue Slitter and Glig are not going to be able to even 1v2 this Camazots, I don't believe, let alone 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even counting Glig as a point in this game right now. He's got less damage than a Kepri as a Najar. Like, he's literally a second support, and he's doing a worse job than the support.
Yeah, really struggling to find an impact, and Unks being thrown out like that is more than a hopeful play, shall we say. Just inefficient use of the relics, and really is going to hinder future team fights for the Armadillos, aka Red Team.
Oh,
that was Yazan DJ, yes.
That's a weird pickup. Definitely should be on the Kepri if it's going on anyone, especially in these team fights. Like, Achilles is going to be not really anywhere near.
Yeah, Banana now gonna find himself falling. The anti-heal coming through from these crits from Rizla, who does end up getting the kill onto Banana. That anti-heal coming through from the Shadow Steel Shuriken and the Chunga's 3, just meaning that the Freya are not able to sustain at all. Does pick up Demonic Grip and is looking into working on what has to now be a Telkines before finishing off that glyph, but I don't think we're going to reach a stage where we're going to see either of those completed in this one.
Yeah, it's it's a weird one. I don't know why he stood up that far when the other team is this far ahead, and this Changar is just constantly rotating up to his left lane.
Got it. Oh, even the denial of that little bit of farm there is so painful for the Armadillos, who right now 14,000 gold down and just completely unable to return any fire whatsoever. Fire. Speaking of fire, it has respawned and King Kaiser straight on it. 5 members of their team over here damaging it. Zats is on zone duty. The Dynamic Pillars come out and Armadillo's making the right call. They're not even going to contest it. It's not EFG. Absolutely the right choice there. Make sure that they are set up as much as possible for the defense here. Although personally, these tier 2 towers, they need to go now. Let them be. Defend your Phoenixes.
Yeah, you just need to take what farm you can. Like we see this Freya probably gonna, nope, not gonna push up that wave. I thought she was gonna take the farm, but apparently not. I think I don't really see how Armadillos at this point get back into it because they're not really doing anything that really makes you think that they are going to get back into it.
Nah, nice individual double pluck banish from that banana, and he's getting some nice damage onto Pentacruel, but they need to not chase too far here. They've got this damage off. They slowed the siege down. Now just waste the time on Fire Giant. Don't take the full engage because you're not going to win it. Just let them burn down this fire. Slow the game. They need to get to the stage now where the gold is irrelevant, even with Kins being, 16 to 17,000 gold ahead. You've just got to make gold irrelevant. You get to the point where you are at full build yourselves, and it doesn't matter that they are.
Yeah, Kins, they're like their own enemy right now. They need to end this game quicker, because if this Freya gets all her items online and this Chiron gets out of the place he's in right now, where he's 2 levels down, and the other guy's got his upgraded starter, and he hasn't even started work on his his item. Like, if they let this team get to a point where they're all full build and they can fight evenly, then I think this game does turn around for Armadillos, because right now Kins aren't playing to a standard where they'd be considered an LD team. Right now they're barely above HD, and the only reason they're not losing right now is because Armadillos aren't playing very well and they're behind.
Exactly. You say that though. I do think unless either of the Armadillo's tanks get themselves a spectral armor, that it wouldn't turn enough. And now both of them have chosen to forego that item so far, even with both Morton and Rizzler having the exact same 3 crit items in the Shadow Steel, the Wind Demon, and the Deathbringer. Spectral shuts that down so much. So much. Even with the added crit damage from the Deathbringer, it's irrelevant. It's not enough.
It's crazy, but I don't know. I think the Achilles build is... I don't
I'm
know.
not a fan.
It's not how I build him, I'll be honest. I think a bit more power is a bit needed on him.
Yeah, I think I'd be looking to have stuck a Brawlers in here somewhere, and I think where the Sov, I get that the Sov is good for the sustain and the teamfight protections, but just stick the Spectral in its place, stick a Brawlers in there somewhere. Maybe even
just having
forget
like a
Glad.
Blackthorns at the start and late. But yeah, they need to have a look at the Spectral, but I think the shining light for Armadillos right now is the back line. The front line are a bit like sacrificial pawns, where they just need to go and keep some people off the back line so they can do the damage.
Yeah, although good luck keeping Zats off your back line when he's got that Magi's Cloak available to him. Opting to forego the beads, because honestly, he's just not really needed it this game. At what point have we seen him get CC'd to any stage where he's been in danger? None. He's just been able to do what he wanted this game.
Yeah, I think if it was personally me, I'd have gone to Blink first and then get beads, because I think with these sort of characters where you're not going to be that full tank that you normally see with the warrior style play, beads is definitely helpful. But when you're this far ahead, I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we are seeing items get online for these backliners of Armadillos, and as I said, if they get online, I think we see a much closer game, and maybe we even see that gold lead start to come down a bit. Especially if
Yeah.
we see Glig start to use abilities and get above 5k damage.
Oh, please. I'd like to add, I absolutely hate this Rama build.
I think this is the normal build, is it? I mean, it would be a Feln. I think it's a Feln or a Silver Branch at the end, depending on what you are. What you are, but it's not
Pers-
that out of the ordinary.
It's not. I just feel like even if you're going crit, you still want at least an Exi or a Kins in there. You know, I personally wouldn't have the Deathbringer. I wouldn't have the Dominance. Honestly, if this was me, I would have where the Deathbringer and Dominance are. I'd have both the Exi and the Kins, but I would
I
have got
think
them before I had any crit. I wouldn't have rushed the crit in this game because it would have been so counterable. You get it this late in the game, and then suddenly they have to change build paths, and it really disrupts how the itemization goes. I think having two characters rushing it can be easily punished. Here it hasn't been, but what we are seeing punishment of are Banana, and Yazan DJ. Really nice ult coming out from Nopex D, not quite being able to follow it up by the dynamic pillars due to Banana going into the air, but Morton has himself a triple kill here. Really good engage from him. Glig's getting shot down by Rizzo, who finds the connection with the shots from the sky on Rama. There's only Blue Slitter left to defend the base, and he doesn't have his ultimate available. I think that quite possibly could be what levels up this game.
yeah, that's game. I think going into the next game, they banned Zats off the Camazots for sure. Like he seems like a completely different person when he's not on it. He had nowhere near this level of pressure last game, and I think him being so far ahead and solo is what really snowballed Kinz's game.
Yeah, and with that, the set has been evened up at 1-1. Adequate Armadillos really not being able to hold the momentum into this second game that they took into the first. Kins have evened out the game more than convincingly, and after that shock that was game one, I think it's fair to say that Kins are on their way back to where we would expect them to be, and are most likely now to be taking this set away from the Adequate Armadillos. Printers has confused me. So things that went wrong there for the Armadillos. Picking an Arja and not using it, you have to have the momentum of a character like that. As soon as you don't use that early game and you aren't pressuring the map, you might as well have not picked the Narja. And I think it was maybe a pick here where Glig's taken it for good meta. And on the other side, he actually maybe just isn't that comfortable on the god in comparison to other things.
Yeah, it's a bit like when we had the Humbats in game one. I think it has the potential to do a lot in these fights, but it just wasn't showing up. Like into Bologna, who was just ulting on cooldown, like it's so easy to get the beads off of her. Even that the Chunk R who had no beads, like that should be free pickings.
Yeah.
And it's not like Morton is 9-0, but it's not like he's done an insane amount of damage or anything. He's just played to an average standard, I'd say. So it's not like Glig's been mowed down by anything extraordinary. It's just he didn't click buttons. I mean, Freya's done all she could this game, but unfortunately, he was the only one swinging. I think,
Was indeed quite literally.
yeah,
And yeah, even with the strength that Freya has, you cannot 1v5 with that god anymore. Not in team fights.
yeah, especially when you got the what is it, 40% anti-heal on Changar 3, or was
Hmm.
it 50%? And then you have his
And
he's running the Shadow Steel.
yeah, and everything else in there as well. There's just no hope really.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate game. I think going to game 3, Armadillo's ban the Camazots off of Zats because it's the only god he can play. And then I think you're looking at a much closer game because Zat's having that lead, he was just always in the jungle getting kills. Like he was stopping Lig from getting anywhere. He was stopping the Achilles from getting anywhere. Like Achilles didn't even reach level 20. And I think don't make weird calls around gold at 7 minutes. Also helps.
That took the game away from them so much. Right as they found a way to get back into it a little bit, pick up a kill, they just threw it and lost so much gold. They were, 2k down within the first 10 minutes. It put them at such a deficit so early, and it's just so difficult to get back from that.
Yes, I think that we could definitely see a competitive game 3, especially with the carry Nopex D-Vac. Could definitely see the best of both these teams. Obviously, we've seen Armadillos take game 1, now Kins take game 2, but they've both been sort of stomps, really. So maybe get a bit of both teams showing up in the second game.
Absolutely. But we shall see that very shortly. But for now, we are going to take a quick break. Kinkai's even up this set against the adequate Armadillos in what has been a very exciting first round encounter in the glorious Smite League lower division end of Season 2 tournament. We'll be back with you very, very shortly for the third and final game of this set. Stay tuned. It's bound to be a cracker.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll rot into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never
hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have lost Ginger Archer to pleasant present wrapping, and he wasn't aware we had a game 3 going on. So it will just be me for picks and bans, and until Ginger Archer works his way back to his headset. What do you see? Baba Yaga coming out. Pretty standard no pick D ban. Kronos on the other side. I personally, I'm not sure this one should be coming out. I think there's better things to ban. But you know, Kins value it. They obviously think it's worth it. Kamazots on the other side, definitely something they should have banned. Chungar, that's a bit too much respect to the Nope name. Let me be honest, it's not sure he'll be able to play with such a hard on this game. Ishtar, pretty standard ban. Hades, yes, standard stuff from the other side. This does leave stuff like Guan Yu, the Kepri out. Maybe even Vulcan if no fans.
Crack and fall.
That wasn't what I was expecting for the first pick. Let me just go and check that Printers has locked in the right. Printers is the right. Yeah, Cthulhu is the right first pick. It wasn't a Guan Yu coming out first in the solo. And Four and Darji being hovered on the other side. Dear God. Let me go and predict in the Twitch chat. Let me put my points down on someone. I wonder who. 10 on there. There we go. All right, back to Four and Darji. A very strong picks right now. Four obviously going to be eradicating that back line with his ult, just up in the air, straight on to whoever he sees first, and then especially the damage that's coming out on his 2 now, being able to proc items. And Darji, obviously a big team fight ult, able to grab bees, especially in tandem with this 4, who's going to be grabbing bees on whoever he lands on. Because he does have that potential to just touch you up a bit, and it doesn't feel good when he does so. On the other side, Chernobog having that big global rotation. With how many teleports we've seen coming out from teleport into dual lane, it'll be interesting to see if we see a favor returned. With this Chernobog coming over to solo to help out with Zats. Rattoska, just a standard pick really. It's sort of just something you see quite common. He's just good. He goes into the air, he looks at the back line and he just goes on them. Not big. He is good setup for other people. You can knock him off to get him into the acorn and stun him. It's just not feeling good if you're that backliner. Kevy somehow made it a sixth pick. Obviously, Adequate Armadillos wasn't quite happy with their support in it last game, so they said put that one in the locker this time. Pentacruel on it. I've never seen him play it, so it'll be interesting to see if he knows what the 4 key is. Because, to be honest, I didn't see many coming out last game.
What do you mean? He was getting loads of Ganesh ults out. Hi, I'm back.
No, I'm talking about the Kepri ults.
Yeah, I was Taka on it.
Yeah, I didn't see him do much.
He had a few.
Um,
Most of the time he was silenced or dead before he had the chance to.
Yeah, that's why I didn't see much, isn't it?
On that front, I think Armadillos probably want to pick up a Ganesh of their own here, just to kind of find that mini counter themselves. Especially with the Athena Gom, they need someone that's going to be able to put hard CC on the Kepri and just prevent him from bringing something else back into the game.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting top 3 that King Kai's have right now.
Pretty disgusting top 4. A Wheelix, so.
I'm not sure about this Sid. I don't think she's doing very well in the meta currently, I'll be honest. No Pixd, hopefully to hit a bit more abilities than what we were seeing from, who was the guy who played Silly the other day? Oh, Luxior. Yeah, hopefully he hits it more than Luxior, because obviously...
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Yeah. After 5 minutes, we weren't seeing many abilities connect, so... Oh, raw.
No shot. No shot this gets locked in. That is so silly against the Thor and Darji. They can't lock this in.
Pretty sexy around. Surely goes harm.
The sun has risen
Yeah,
once
okay.
again.
It's time. We're gonna see some big snipes coming through.
There's a big balls
Hopefully.
moment.
This is where you earn your testicles.
He does have potential to go big. Obviously, he can see where the Silver's going to dash on with that dog coming out before she's there. So he could line up the snipes to do that well. But
You will regret
yeah,
getting
it's
in
not
my way.
what first comes to mind. Obviously, CC immunity being something I'd be thinking of in this position. But he does have the Geb appeal. I'm not sure what to say. It's a strange draft. And it's not what I'd Cthulhu top pick. Not what I'd be thinking of. I'll be honest. Especially when you got stuff like Guan Yu out there.
I think they just wanted to pick someone that they were actually more comfortable on almost.
No one's not comfortable on Guan Yu. You press 3 and you do damage. But I mean, he did well in it first game. We'll see how it continues into this game, I suppose.
Yeah, hopefully we can get along one as we do go into the third and final game of this very enjoyable set so far. And this time we do know which team is which. We have the team names back. Production is back on it and doing their job properly. I'm looking at 5 health potions coming up from Zats on the Thor here. This man is looking to brawl early. He's and DJ picking up the same build as he did in the first game. Most likely going to be seeing him with that Pythagoras piece as the first item. Zach's going to move into the Transcendence as he did before, and honestly, if he's using that build that he uses on Camazots, this Thor is going to be basically a second jungler with more of an impact than the Camazots has. As we see in the early game, in both games we've seen so much aggression into the duo lane and the first blood coming through there. If we see a third game in a row, I'm just going to be disappointed in the other lanes for not doing more.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bit criminal that what's his name? Banana just was being camped for the whole game last game.
And still got first blood.
And yeah, still got first blood, and he was the furthest ahead. So hopefully these other lanes can step it up this game and give us a competitive set.
Yeah, fingers crossed we will in CC that. Blue Slitter has that 2 on Ron, just hitting level 3, so he's going to have the heal now available as well. The Solar Blessing ready to come down from the skies. Glig rushing that Acorn, wanting that online as soon as he possibly can get it. Zats has already burned through 4 health potions.
Yeah,
4.
obviously.
His man is stacking up that regen.
Paul has gone through 4 health potions.
Gone through 4 of them.
He obviously has no sustain in lane, so it's just going to be a bit of a hard uphill battle for him. I think, especially with being an assassin by nature, he's going to have that low health bar, isn't he? So he's going to be able to tank less. So until the mid game, where he can maybe sit around his fire giant side, and over into mid lane, have a bit more impact, I don't think we'll be seeing much from this fall.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be seeing much from Zan DJ here, as he does get first blooded by Morton, rotating into the solo lane and picking up the first kill of this third game. Zan DJ just stepping up that little bit too hard to contest the totem of Ku, and is now potentially going to be losing his blue buff. Blue Slater is over here to try and defend it here, but is not going to be successful in doing so. Zat's taking that one away, now has a level up and has the lead that he needs to be able to bully this solo lane, and Thor, with this lead, once he gets to level 4, is able to do so much damage when you start getting those points into the hammer, and both to the minions and to your enemy laner, the consistent poke you can bring out is very impactful. On the other side, Rizzler and Pentacruel putting a lot of pressure out onto Taco, who's dropping health rather rapidly here. Banana stepping up to lose just as much health in the long run, has potions available, unlike his support. But already we're starting to see Kins pressuring the farm on both sides, having a 700 gold lead in the first 3 minutes of this game. Obviously, First Blood contributes a lot to that, but not what adequate Armadillos wanted to be seeing right now.
Yeah, certainly not. I'll be honest, I think if Rat doesn't learn where his buttons are, then this game's just over. Because we're already seeing Zats putting pressure on this solo lane, getting Zats lead. And yeah, Glig's just done nothing in return, really. I mean, he did next to nothing last game, so he really needs to step out of this game. Like, Rat's not something you need to have a high execution on.
Yeah, we need to
I
see the ultimates.
Yeah, I think with the amount of rotation potential he has, like he can just jump on these people with his ults. Like it's not like much is required of him to have impact this game. Is
Yeah,
my take on it.
nice from Blue Slider there, just to stop the engage from Nopex D. The ultimate from Daji does come through, but as it does from Nopex D, and finds the crush. The shell is there. Rizla ends up picking up that kill. The shell was enough to stop the crush from killing, but the Rama ult from downtown picking up the second kill of the game. Takanai falling to Rizla on the Rama. Nice rotation from Kins. Honestly, a nice rotation from the Armadillos to try and disengage that as well. Unfortunately, just too much follow-up with the duo lane of the Armadillos. As low as they were, it meant that they did end up losing their support. But only their support. Could have been worse. They could have lost their blue buff and their solo laner, which could be happening here as Zats doesn't have the Anvil of Dawn available or already used it to engage. Glig here is finally going into the air, but is doing so more defensively than aggressively, and that is not what you want to see from a Ratatosker in the early game.
Yeah, it's there's already a lead showing up, and we're only 5 minutes in. Not looking good for Armadillos right now. I don't think they got any of their buffs that time, except for maybe their speed. Like obviously you saw the red, the purple, and then the blue invade.
Indeed, they didn't. Seems that their hope in this set is Banana. He's continuing to find aggression onto his opponent, ADC and Rizla, but Rizla's fine just holding his own and farming up to the late game as he did in the last one.
Yeah, something needs to change, and Glig needs to be one to change it. Whether it's onto mid lane and taking out this Scylla before she's online, or going over to this solo lane where you have an actual solo, and they have a 4 of Transcendence and Warrior's Axe.
He absolutely does. Having that Acorn online now, he's hit his first initial power spike of this game, and it's a nice power spike. That extra ability to bring in the CC and the stun is a really nice bit of impact for him, and he needs to utilize that. He needs to get some cooldown in now so he can be ulting as often as possible and finding as much impact as possible. He's already used one and ended up using it just to get to his speed buff. He needs to up the momentum on it now. He needs to take that. He cannot be scared to engage. Because as soon as you get scared to engage, you're then playing in the tempo of the other team, and it's very hard to dictate how the game goes when you're playing to their game style.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost a 2-level lead in solo right now. Like, Capu's only just ticked over to level 7. So, he either needs to get Banana ahead, or he needs to go and stabilize something in solo. Like, it is about how Glig decides to play
Plays
this
side
game right
lanes
now.
now. Yeah, absolutely. Mid lane's kind of even with the Khepri and again. You've got two very defensive supports who are just going to be doing their thing, but it looks like it's not going to be Glig who's deciding the solo lane as King Kai's make a big rotation over here. 4 people heading over to try and put some pressure on the blue buff. They don't end up doing so. It is the first blue buff secured for the Armadillos in quite a while as Rizla taking a lot of damage here from Banana, who is out of mana but has the ultimate available and is doing exactly what I thought he might do here. Is going to back and get the mana, and you can see Rizla has identified that, is dropping off to his tower. Are we going to see the ult come through from the Chernobog? No, and they're deciding to walk to the lane, but I think was definitely looking at that one as a potential option.
Yeah, for sure. If we'd just stayed in that lane, then we would have seen that ultimate come through. It's just a shame he had no mana. Otherwise, I think he could have had a kill there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's finding a nice amount of aggression so far and giving himself a good showing over this set. Banana, even after getting first blooded in that first game, since then has really shown some worth for his team. The problem now for the Armadillos is look at the differences in the net worth. I mean, once again, there are 2,000 gold deficit within the first 10 minutes before Gold Fury's even gone down, and actually Kai's here have pulled it. They are aware of it on the side of the Armadillos. Banana is starting to step up. He has his support with him. Taka's there. Blue Slater is on the side as well. Crush comes down. They just need that vision. Are we going to see the Ral coming through? Not in time. We're not. King Guys get the Gold Fury Pentacle, uses the ult on himself to make sure that he lives. Now Taka is in a bit of a negative position. The insta pullback into the Scylla ult, meaning that we are going to see the kill onto Taka, who's now 0-2. Neither of the tanks for the Armadillos having too good of a game so far. 3k gold lead for King Guys. Completely, well, essentially completely uncontested Gold Fury. We did see Taka try and get in there with the ultimate, but not doing enough, and King Guys are starting to run away with it once again.
Yeah, I was really hoping for that Ra snipe to come through and steal it, but just a bit too late, unfortunately.
And they position themselves well, actually, to steal it. They put themselves in a position where they're around the side. It was only really the support who was in danger and was only the support who died. And had they stolen that, that would have been a fantastic way for the Armadillos to get back into the game. Having not stolen it, at least it's only one player who has died, but it's still a death and a lost objective. It's not an ideal situation at all.
Yeah, certainly not. Obviously, XP-wise, they are still in the sort of same place. 2-level lead in solo. Well, that's been there for a while now. So just sort of normal at this point. But no leads of any mention around the map elsewhere.
Yeah, bold once again from Banana, just dashing in forwards in that wave and boxing Rizzler. Couldn't really go into the wave because then suddenly the 1 and the 2 come out. But we do see King Kai's taking out the Pyromancer just a little bit too late there from Yazan, DJ, and Takane. They are continuing to go a bit aggressive with the ult coming through from both of them, but Blue Sledge is taking a lot of damage from Zats in the backline here. Has to use the ultimate to give himself the CC immunity. Now Glig is going in, but is completely alone, out of position, and with no ultimate is going to fall. It's another uncontested objective for King Kais, who then find a kill in return, this time onto the jungler. And then Zats is now looking for more. He's seeing if he can cut off Taka, get some extra damage onto him. Blue Slitter's there without the ultimate as well. Does miss the Tectonic Rift. The Mjolnir's attunement also misses. Does hit the spin to win, but Helen Keller could hit the spin to win. That's not an achievement.
Yeah, that was extremely strange call from Glig. Like, the rest of his team is disengaged, and he's decided, no, I will stay and fight.
Yeah, and Taka with no beads is free pickings for the Daji right now. It's straight into the Scylla ultimate, and there's nothing that can be done right now by Taka to respond to that. If he gets pulled in, he is going to die.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, really. It's at this point, it's just a draft if. Like, you're picking a Cthulhu top pick and you got no value out of it. Like, they picked Darji in 4, and this 4 is just running solo direct lane right now, and Darji is just having fun with your support on cooldown.
Yeah, this stage is just it's a get buff. It's not even like an opponent. It's just another camp to farm, and they're farming it very effectively at the moment. Speaking of farming, Banana might go down here more, and with so much speed to be able to keep up with that with 1,000 cuts. And that means that Banana does indeed fall 0-1 for the ADC of the Adequate Armadillos, who are yet to find themselves on the board for kills. Find them with a 6-kill deficit and a 5,000 gold lead in 13 minutes here. King Kai's doing very much what they did last game, is letting Zats abuse his opponent and spreading the lead across the rest of the map between themselves. It's a long way back now for the Armadillos, and I don't think they quite have the capacity to do that. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but at least last game they had the hoping that they had some kills. This game, they don't look like they've got much fight in them.
Yeah, it's once again for Banana, the only one who's doing well on this team. We said we need to see something from Glig, and I forgot they had a jungle, to be honest.
Yeah.
He is yet to press the 4 key that I'm aware of, except from getting out from 9. It's I don't know. They sort of put themselves in they're this position on their own. It's not like Darji and 4 are unknown picks. They're very known. Like most of the community are either banning or picking them. And
yeah,
Armadillos.
really nice. Oh, Blue Slitter unlucky that not to hit the ultimate. Morton did go into the air after a really nice ultimate from the Geb, but Glig just deciding to disengage without much follow-up available. No Ra ult there to follow up with, no Geb ult there to follow up with. Should arguably have gone in and tried to take the fight, because now that's a 5-man engager on the Gold Fury from King Kai's, and it's going to be pretty free. Gold Fury does go down. That's an Oni Fury for them. Banana doesn't get engaged on by Zats, who had fallen a little bit low on health, but once again, Kins are just taking all the objectives and they're taking what they want with no response whatsoever.
Yeah, Zats only just got the Glad Shield online. When he was in that fight, he only had that Black Thorns and Transcendence. He was squishy. I think if Armadillos are taking note of that, then they CC him down and he's just dead. Like,
I mean, look how much Banana did to him just with a couple of autos there. He had a single crit, and beyond that, he was just trading with Zats quite well on damage, so...
Yeah, I
just
don't know.
giving too much respect to Kins. That's what they're doing right now. They need to take this like they took the first game. We're thinking, we're better. We can bring this game to you, and we are going to win this game, and they've just lost the mentality completely.
Yeah, I don't know. We've just watched the Cthulhu walk into the wall, or fall, and trap himself.
And then avoid the ultimate from the Thor, and avoid the ultimate from the Darji. It's a nice little positional play, actually, enabled to get himself out of there, but Pyromancer spawning. Glig has ulted aggressively into duo lane. Armadillos are on the board. It is Banana again with the kills. King Kai's are likely to get this Pyromancer. They do indeed, but that would be a tier 1 going down in favour of the Armadillos at least. It's something in return. It's the sort of thing they need to start fighting back with. They need to take something from this game and from this fight, and this is the sort of thing that will just keep them in it. And that's what they've got to do. They've got to stay in this game.
Yes, sort of what I was saying earlier. There's still not much of an XP gap between these two teams. Except in solo, obviously, solo gap was quite clear. But the gold gap is expanding, and our items will be playing a big role in these team fights. So
Yeah.
Either Glig needs to keep going over to this Chernobyl and getting him into a point where he is going to carry this team on his back, or Glig just needs to, I don't know, get ahead and shut down his fall. Maybe bring over the Ra as well, but something needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, right now they need to get onto solo, but I think it's getting to the stage where it might be beyond when they can do anything. I know Zats isn't that tanky, but he's playing Thor and he's got so many ways of getting out. Even just having that extra health is going to do so much for him. I think they're really going to struggle to engage onto this Thor, who's level 16 in comparison to the level 13 Cthulhu. There's such a difference in the amount of farm that they've been able to get, and Zaz is just there trying to strip that blue buff away again. Goes into the Anvil of Dawn, gets out freely, and that's exactly what I mean. He can just do what he wants, and there's very little that the Armadillos can do to stop him because it's too late in the game now.
Yeah. The only shine light is come late game, this Thor won't be really a solo. He will be, as you said earlier, a second jungle. Like he won't be doing that frontliney sort of stuff that you expect from your solo normally. He'll be up in the air, and like you can't tank damage from up in the air. So
No, but what you can do is then land on someone and kill them, and that's exactly what Thor can do.
Yeah, he can, but with this Geb, I think if Geb gets a nice cleanse off, this Thor can be blown up quite easily. So I guess we'll see how it goes into late game, but if nothing changes, then obviously that we don't get to that late game.
Speaking of blown up, goodbye, Yazan DJ. Glig having to dash on out of there, but Taka now in a less than favourable position. Really nice body blocking by Pentacle, but a good stun from Glig to get his support out of there. Morn on the side there, around the back, has taken out Blue Star to the Raz. That stunks down. Goodbye, Glig. Goodbye, Taka. That's 4 down from the Armadillos, and King Kai's no gold, no pyro to take. They're probably going to settle for a tower here, but they're just taking the picks that they want here. And there's so little response. They don't even care that Banana's sort of bullying Rizla over in the duo lane. because the rest of the team's just taking the game away from the Armadillos on their own. They don't need to worry about the ADC because the rest of the team isn't going to reach late game.
Yeah, we're looking at a 9k lead right now. Probably gonna be a 10k lead after this tower has gone down.
Indeed, it is.
Not looking good. Probably gonna look at another early fire giant. If I was Armadillos, I'd probably let that first one go and just try and farm.
Yeah, the only thing they can hope for right now is a chance steal from maybe Glig from the ultimate. He's not, he's not using it for anything else right now. You might as well go for a cheeky steal just to slow it down a little bit. But as we say, 10k down, and it's.
I think Blue Slit is the best chance they have at steal, but then you have a Sitter on the other side, and not much is going to out-secure that Sitter, so it's going to come down to like very minute timing.
Yeah. I think for all the Armadillos, they played well game one. They've just seemed to be a bit scared since then. Banana's got this global ult that he's not using. He's just trying to take 1v1s. Granted, he's doing so successfully as he picks up the solo kill onto Rizla. But he needs to get out of there. Morton already dashing away. Uses the ultimate to get into the sky, but who has he really got to dash to? He chooses Zats. Maybe not your best choice there. The Mjolnir's attunement coming through. There's the Tectonic Rift. Does use the beads. Is doing a lot of damage. There's no way that Zats falls here. No, uses the hammer to get into position. But here's Blue Slitter. Is he going to be able to actually pick up the kill onto Zats, who's fallen ever so low? Uses the hammer to get out.
Hi.
Raw snipe not quite able to hit on the other side. Kins took away the Gold Fury. Took away the kill onto Yazan DJ. Takker's getting chased down. Incredibly, though, Banana got an untraded kill.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That's criminal.
Goodbye, Tacker, but
I don't know if Zat's result was down, but it's up right now. And if it was up, then it's disgusting that he hasn't used it to to take that kill. Obviously, he thinks he's better than that, but he's not that guy.
I mean, would you have used an ultimate to kill 20% Chernobog there? I wouldn't have done.
I think if I knew it was going to turn out like that, then certainly.
That's the joys of hindsight. Right, here we go. Kinkai's starting up the first fire giant of the game a little bit later than they did last time, but really nice double tap from Zats, getting a lot of damage onto Blue Slitter and to Glig. And Glig being forced to ult away. Blue Slitter is resetting to get a bit of health back, but now he's going to be in the eyes of Zats, who knows roughly where he's going to be. Kinkai's are able to reset, get their full team over here, and then be ready to pull that next fire giant. Taka getting engaged on. There's the root from Nopex. The sick him into the crush. Pentacruel picks up that kill. And there's one down for the Armadillos. Kinkai's now set their sights onto the fire giant and going to set their sights onto it in full as Banana split pushes the tier 2 tower over onto the duo side.
Yeah, I guess the beauty of it is if a fight was to go well at this fire giant, he can just ult over.
But what's the likelihood that the fight goes well?
It's not very likely, but yeah, I said if, so.
Yeah, Kinkai's...
If it went well, but obviously that's big if.
Yeah, Kinkai's shredding away that fire giant, and now Banana needs to get himself away from this duo lane, but Zats is gonna just put a little bit of pressure on just so that he's got that little bit of a fear factor. Banana is running away. Nopex, he's slowly making his way over, but he's more focused on the red buff. And they're going to completely ignore him, let him back. Kinkai's now just want to group up, take away these towers, and extend their gold lead, which currently sits at 12,000. Higher than it was at this point in the last game, even though they've taken a much later fire giant than they did in the last game. At this stage, they had about a minute left before the second one was spawning.
Yeah, true indeed. It's been a slower-paced game, for sure, but obviously the result is still the same, 12k behind for Armadillos. I mean, we are in that state where one team fight and they're back in it.
Absolutely. The problem is that one team fight will get them maybe 4,000 gold. They're still sitting at a 9,000 deficit. And at that stage, they've still got to consider what is gettable for us. What can we actually do? How do we have to take the next fight? Because they'll still be on the back foot quite massively. And defending a tier 1 tower is not the play, but... Yazan DJ's teleporting in. He's pulling a Zats. Teleporting in only to almost die. The ultimate does come through, which keeps him alive a little bit longer. But Gliggs had to dash away. Zats is forced into his ult, but Rizla picks up the kill onto Yazan DJ. Nopexd completely whiffs the ultimate, no surprise, without any setup. That's what he does. Taka though falling lower and lower, and eventually falling to Rizla, who has the double kill. Banana being forced to run away, and my only question is, why did they even try to defend a tier 1 tower?
Yeah, I don't know. It was funny when he did it game 2 and he got a kill, but this time there's not 2 of them there, it's 4 of them there. And now you lose a Phoenix instead of just your T2.
Yeah, Gliggs sitting in the air here, going in aggressively, gets a knock up onto Nopexd and the stun onto him and Pentacrawl, and then just dashing away because that's all he can do. Banana does pick off Morton on the far side with the split push, does force the Chernbog ult, but that in turn means that the Phoenix and Blue Sitter goes down as 4 available for the Armadillos to be able to defend this with, due to low respawn timers, but immediately Yazan DJ is taken out of there. Pentacrawl also gets taken out of it by Banana, who's had once again a very, very strong set and is the glimmer of hope for the Armadillos, keeping them in the game. But the Phoenix has gone down. There's 1 tower left. King Kai's 13,000 up on the gold, and they're just going to wait for the next Fire Giant to respawn and carry on.
Yeah, someone needs to check Banana after this game because his back might be broken from carrying this hard. And I think if it is, then Adequate Armadillos needs to put together a little sum to pay for that, because they are living off this man's backpack right now.
Yeah, his spine is certainly going to need some correction surgery after this, because if it isn't warped, then I don't know what is. The rest of his team very, very heavy right now, and Kin's having a jolly old time of trying to stun one another. Armadillos languishing in their base, thinking of what miracle plays they could make to get themselves out of this terrible, terrible spot. For Banana, that is trying to sit within the trebuchet, the chalice, ends up just taking it. Nobody's showing up anytime soon.
I don't know in what world a Cthulhu buys a Pridwin, I can't lie, and I don't know in what world Cthulhu is level 16 and Khepri's level 18. But
this is the world where it's the same as the last game, but instead of Cthulhu, it was Achilles.
I don't think he was behind the support in last game, was he? Was it that bad?
Yeah, it was.
Alright, well, it's worse this game because I've noticed it.
Meanwhile, Zaz jumping into mid lane, Blue Slitter getting the Thor treatment, getting almost one-shot by what is a Thor that's mostly tanky here. Morton there to clean up the dregs and take the kill from Zats. Blue Slitter losing his life once again. 0-3 on this Ra. I said there was a risky pick into what was a very mobile assassin composition, and it's shown just why that is such a risky pick. 0-3, 1 single assist in the game. King Kai's beginning their siege of the right. Phoenix having taken the left one already. Yazan DJ finds himself out of position, goes into the ultimate only to immediately fall to Rizla. That's going to set up a really nice siege for King Kai's. They're getting a split push with Zats in the mid lane, which has to be defended. They're outnumbering everywhere. Right Phoenix goes down. 1 left to take for King Kai's. Are they going to bother with it, or are they just going to push into the base? It looks like they're going for the end. Armadillo's Titan is under attack. Blue Slitter spawning in 5, but is this game going to last for that long? Glig goes into the air, so does Zats. Where's Glig going to land? He's looking at his options. Lands down onto Rizla, gets a nice stun on him, takes him down to half health, forces the shell out. Rizla does pick up the kill though. Blue Slitter is getting a load of damage out, but goodbye Takane from Nopexd, the ultimate from the Scylla going down. Banana forced out after ulting. Blue Slitter does get 2 in return, but the game and the set goes to King Kai's. Order has been restored, but the Armadillos didn't have to give it a good shot with that first game.
Yeah, that's crazy. Armadillos, like half the team couldn't even out damage a get free. Embarrassing, really. I think they need to just. I don't know what you do after that.
What they do after that is wait for next season's drafts, because for the Armadillos this season, that is it. That is all we will be seeing of them.
Yeah, we have the double eliminations, mate.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Okay, so it's not all that they have to do, but it's
No, they
It's
get
a
to go in.
long way to go now for them. A very long way to go.
Yeah, a long way to go. They got. My advice would be to start doing enough damage that the support isn't out damaging on the other team, especially Kepri, not really known for the burst sort of stuff on him, is he?
Absolutely. He's not really known for the damage, full stop. It's the last thing you think of when you think Kepri's kit, but
Yeah, but
here we are, overtaking
wrong.
Ra. Yeah, almost matching Leg here, who once again picked a god of early aggression and just didn't use the early aggression that he needed to do. And it is led to the adequate Armadillos being in, a less than favourable position. But King Kai's credit to them after that first game. They brought back the mentals. They brought back Nope XD01 himself, the key difference. And then the King Kais could return to their normal form and reverse sweep this set.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really. Obviously, they did have a good showing in game one, but game 2 and 3, they I don't know, it just turned bad. Return to their HD ways, and I suppose that's what they're going to look at in going forward. Just how do we return to that performance we had in game 1, where King Kai's obviously not a bad LD team, so being able to take a game off them, you should look at that as a positive and focus on what went right in that set compared to the other sets to give you that sort of victory. Obviously, Banana showing up even when they were behind. So I think not making use of him doing well was a bit criminal, but you know, you gotta learn to press keys first.
Absolutely. As far as set MVP goes over the 3 games, personally, I'm going to give it to Morton. He was the most consistent player for Kins across the 3 games. Was the only one who really pulled his weight in that first game. So over the 3, he gets my set MVP. But individual games, game 1, absolutely goes to Blue Slitter, who was fantastic. Game 2, Zats just put in so much pressure across the map. Just stealing away that jungle and just running the solo lane. It goes to him. Game 3 is a tough one. I think the amount of good crowd control and the amount of good follow-up ultimates that we saw from NopeXD in the mid lane, for me, is going to warrant it going to him. I know he missed the one, but overall, I thought he had a very good game. And I think he takes my MVP for game 3, but overall set MVP, absolutely, for me, is Morton.
Fair enough. I think I'd probably give it to Nope just because he came in and he started winning games. Obviously Morton was there game 1, but he is in the ADC spot. So maybe put that one on the bench now.
Perhaps.
But
For now, though,
overall.
yeah, both teams will be moving on and looking at the next stage of the brackets, which, if we could see that on the screen right now, that would be fantastic. King Kai's are going to be moving on to play VTubers Paradise, who did not have the best end to the season, looked somewhat vulnerable to the teams that they were playing, having lost to Kuhn and Zoomin and to Pingdiff in their final 2 games. On the other side, adequate Armadillos move into the losers brackets and will await to see who they play next. It'll be the losers of Kuman and Zoomin and either Fountaingang or Undubu 2.0 after their round 2 game goes through. For now, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been myself, Ginger Archer, on the casting desk alongside Mirandus. Printers has been doing the production for us as always. We hope you've enjoyed this set. We wish you all a very good weekend. Stay tuned for the rest of the finals tournaments. But for now, good night.
Head down in the water. No fear is the feel of my lungs. There's no light in the tunnel. I'm fighting for my life and I'm giving up to chaos. Even though I'm surrounded, I still feel alone. But my shadow keeps me company. 'Cause voices telling me I ain't good enough. And everywhere I go, I'm seeing faces, I'm hearing voices